I mean, they are taking this pretty seriously. Like I said, it started at one particular complex. Now, in the past couple of days, there have been other complaints at 2 other apartment complexes in the area.
We haven't even hit high tide yet, so there's a lot of concern that will actually lead to more flooding. You can see these wind gusts very strong, this rain very strong. If you look back this way, you can also see the power outages.
You do know that one person, a civilian, was actually shot. Investigators say by another civilian, that person in critical condition. If we walk down the street a little bit more, you can see some tagging that took place. This BLM stands for Black Lives Matter, and if we come down a little further, you can see even more destruction on this particular street right here with those blinds and that door. You can see that glass smashed and those blinds that have been destroyed. The sheriff just provided a little bit more details on that body that was found. He said that it was found buried in a shallow grave, but there's still a lot that they don't know. They don't have an ID. They don't know if it's a man or a woman. They don't even know how long it's been here. And they say it could be one of possibly 4 bodies that have been buried out here. So the search continues. The telltale sign of something bad drove up Friday afternoon to join the sea of investigators trying to piece together what happened on this nearly 100-acre property in Spartanburg County. The owner, Todd Kohlhepp, first charged with kidnapping after investigators found Kayla Brown, missing since August, chained up inside a storage container on his property.
It's a little frightening, to think that somebody would be that evil to somebody, to a human being.
By air, land, even horse, the search continued for the possibility of 4 others buried here, as Brown told investigators. Cadaver dog signaling remains of some sort have been found.
It's just unsettling to know that something like that's went on basically in your front yard.
One of the reasons investigators wanted to talk to Johnny Ravin, a mystery to them and a mystery to him, who spoke with Kohlhepp only a few times in the 2 years since he says Kohlhepp bought the property.
Anybody that lives out in the country would love to have 100 acres to play in.
Now, instead of a playground, it's a potential burial ground, with one survivor who could have the answers investigators need.
I'm glad that she was alive when they found her. Maybe she can shed light on a lot of the stuff that's going on.
Now, during that news conference, I asked the sheriff, with this being such a large property, nearly 100 acres, how much of it have they actually searched? He told me about 30 to 40%. Now, coming up at 6 o'clock, we'll tell you why they're going to go back over that 30 and 40%. Reporting live in Spartanburg County, I'm Justin Hinton for News 13. Tonight, Tennessee's governor is in Gatlinburg, surveying the damage from the state's largest fire in 100 years.
It's a little numbing, to be honest with you, to see the extent of the damage.
The remnants of that fire still felt burning near downtown Gatlinburg. And tonight, there's fear of what could come after at least 3 people have been killed.
If the wind comes at the same time the rain, not so much of a problem. If the wind comes a couple of hours ahead of the rain, then our jobs get extremely dangerous again this evening.
Overnight fires resulting in this, our first look at the main thoroughfare through Gatlinburg. A church, a gas station, a home still burning, just a few of the wildfire's casualties. Smoke and fire still covers parts of downtown Gatlinburg, including this restaurant right here, what's left of the Alamo. Fire officials say early estimates indicate in the city alone more than 100 structures burned, 12 people from the area injured, and 1,200 checking into Red Cross shelters. But there's a bright spot to some of this. The aquarium, still standing, none of the animals harmed. And the mayor hopeful that in time, the city will come back.
It's just a time you just have to rely on each other. If you didn't have the support, it'd be unimaginable. But we're all lifting each other up, and we're going to continue to do that. We're going to rebuild our town.
We'd love to see our office complex. We have almost 100 cabins in here.
Debbie and Greg Plimpton aren't alone, as the line to pass through this checkpoint to move deeper into Gatlinburg grows. A couple minutes later, and a thumbs up is a good sign, though what awaits on the other side is unknown. Steve Wilson knows firsthand what does.
It's just everything.
That's his wife Becca as they were leaving their Gatlinburg home.
This is ridiculous.
Only to find it gone the next day, cars burned in the driveway.
It's surreal, I guess. I mean, just trying to process everything. There's so many people that have it way worse than we do.
He's not too worried about what he's lost, though, showing more concern for the people who have yet to find out anything.
How people don't know where some of their family members are, and you see the parking lot. All these people are just sitting out here because they don't have anywhere to go.
A waiting game all around for some news, any news.
Hug your kids. I mean, that's, I don't know. be happy with what you have.
In the city of Charleston, also known as the Holy City, the soundtrack of Sunday morning is church bells, with the occasional solo from Mike Stusnick's shovel, a reminder of the city's other nickname, the City of Disasters.
A lot of work.
After Hurricane Matthew uprooted trees and muddied streets in Harleston Village, Stusnick and his wife tackled the sidewalk together, like they've been doing for a decade.
We actually celebrated our 10th wedding anniversary, the 7th. We rode out the hurricane sitting here. We had plans for a nice night out, but everybody canceled.
Leaving the two alone for the perfect staycation with power remaining the entire night.
At least we were thankful for that and cable, because we rode it out watching the football games yesterday.
From the remote to the rake, and a smile with each push.
We're always positive, so that's the way we live.
Just around the corner from those folks, some folks out here didn't have it quite as easy. You look down here and you can see flooded roads, that vehicle trying to make its way down here, get an idea of how deep that water is. Then down this street over here, more of the same with those trash bins that have been overturned. But despite all of this, the folks that we talked to out here say it could have been much, much worse.
Like last night when I was looking at the news, it was like 1 million people across the state have lost power, and somehow down here on the peninsula, we never did. I mean, the flights flickered a couple of times, but other than that, it was stayed on the whole time.
Back on the Stusnick's block, Sunday's delivery shows times are returning to normal, with cleanup for now nearing completion.
Just let me know when you're tired, baby. That's all.
In Charleston, Justin Hinton.
That's going to be a big pile.
News 13.